schools opening? Like, what's going on there? Do we have schools anymore?
So let's look at New York. Obviously, giant school system.
I come from the New York public education system.
As do I.
As do you.
As a matter of fact,
that's right.
So New York has no plan to reopen restaurants. No plan. They said maybe June of next year. They just don't know. They're just shooting from the hip. However, schools are going to be back in session. It was just today. It was delayed. So now they're going to push it. It was supposed to already start. But
wait, so schools are not starting in New York next? Well, I guess it would be today.
It would be
right?
today, and they have delayed it, but they did, and they got a lot of flack for saying the schools have to reopen. And no one understood why are the schools. It made perfect sense to me. You still want to indoctrinate the kids. You've still got a place to warehouse the kids.
Got to push the indoctrination at all costs. Yeah.
You know, it got so weird that outside of New York, you go to Durham, North Carolina. The Durham public school system has half a dozen schools. They closed their schools. Schools are not reopening.
Okay.
So instead what they're doing, it's all online learning. But they are operating 6 learning centers. And the learning centers are going to allow kids to come in and, you know, with their laptops and do the online learning. Do you know where the learning centers are? The learning centers.
At prison? What?
No,
what,
well,
county prison?
Sort of. The learning centers are in the schools, which are closed. No, but it gets better, Dave. It gets better. Because,
wait.
Yeah, I know it's hard.
Because I'm just getting back on the grid, so maybe my English isn't so great. What you're telling me is Durham has closed the schools.
Mm-hmm. Totally closed.
Then they've announced that these centers will open where the kids can come with their laptops.
To do remote learning.
And that is at the schools that are closed.
That's correct. Yeah. Makes sense, doesn't it? But actually, what you're probably saying is, though, the only way that would work is if the school district charged the parents more money to come use the schools, which are closed, to do the online learning from the schools that you can't go to, right? That would make sense. So in order to use the remote learning centers at the schools, parents have to pay $140 a week plus a $35 registration fee. Unless you're a bureaucrat who works for the government, in which case you get a discount.
What's the Daily Wire policy on the F word?
It's your show, my friend.
Yeah.
We are at your show.
That is fucking bananas.
It's insane.
But
it's
again,
insane.
Do you see what I'm saying? That there is nothing too stupid for this movement.
Yeah.
There is nothing too insane for this movement.
Yeah.
It will eat away and rot out whatever institution allows this stupidity in. It will destroy it.
Yeah.
And that is what it sounds like is happening in Durham, North Carolina.
But
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why would they need more money to do that? I assume everyone's still paying taxes. They're not giving tax rebates to the people.
They're all still paying taxes.
So you're paying the exact amount of taxes that you always paid for the public schools. The public schools are then closed, but then less people will be there.
Correct.
So you'd think you would be able to save a little money.
Yeah.
But then you still got to charge them. So in effect, only people with money will be able to send their kids to those schools. But I thought they're also against school choice.
They're also.
My brain is exploding.
Here's the way to make sense of it. Has a government agency ever said, give me less money?
Yeah.
Has that ever happened in the
never
history of humanity?
No, they run literally. I mean, people don't believe this, but most government agencies run on a thing where they have to hit their budget. Otherwise, their budget gets cut. Nobody could run a business like that. I can't run my business like that, where I'm like, I have to spend every freaking cent that I have.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not going to magically get, because I'm not given money, I have to earn money.
Yeah.
So what I do is I save a certain amount in my business each year so we can continue to grow, or we might have some problems, and then we can figure out.
That's completely foreign.
Yeah.
That's completely foreign to a government.
An economic genius.